Let's get you all set and ready here.
Rafi's Rambles, Rafi's Rambles, Rafi's Rambles.
Hola, you amazing artists. So it's just me right now in the studio, and I wanted to have a heart-to-heart with you guys about getting burned out and how I got burned out and what I'm doing in order to not get burned out anymore. There's a lot of things that I do, and I realize, like, I do a lot of stuff, but it's not that stuff. It's not the fact that I do a lot of stuff that caused the burnout. It's the motivation behind it. There is this sense of obligation where, like, you're doing something because you think that that's what that's what you need to do, or you're doing it because you think that is what you should do or you're supposed to do. An important thing to realize there is that, like, this is your career. You're the one that's blazing the trail. Like, nobody's ever done this art career thing the same way that you have. And more importantly, nobody's done this life thing the same way that you have. And everyone, including myself, has their advice that is based on their perspective and their situation and the kind of life that they're living, or what it is that they believe is going on in life. But really, ultimately, what it comes down to is, what do you want? What do you want in the situation? What do you want out of your life? And making sure that the things that you're doing because that's what you want. That's what you want to do. Early on, when I first started my art career, I burned out. I burned out very early on. I think it was maybe about 2.5 years in. 2.5 years in, I reached the point where every single day I was just, from morning until night, I was just creating. Every weekend we had a show. Basically, my entire life just revolved around that, and there was nothing else. Like, that was it. Trust me, I get it. Being an artist, that's a lifestyle. It's not just a job that you do, nor should it be a job, because it's not like I could turn off the creativity in my mind. I'm constantly thinking about stuff that I want to create, being inspired by different things that happen in my life or things that I see. So, like, it's just, you don't shut off the creativity, and it's not like a job where you go in and you're doing financials or doing something and then that's it. You can leave it behind. You're taking this creativity with you everywhere you go. It's like, I gotta create at least this many pieces by the end of the week, and if I don't create this many pieces, then it's like this new life that I created is going to fall completely apart. So I went through that with my art career and was able to really work out that that just wasn't true, and push through all the suck that had come with that, and reevaluate my career and realize, like, it doesn't matter what I do, as long as I'm staying true to myself. That's ultimately what matters, because I could become uber successful because I create all these pieces and I do all this stuff and blah, 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 blah. But really, am I being honest with myself, and am I being true to myself? And are my motivations behind the creations being real? Like, is that real? So how do I avoid burnout? Easy. I take a break, go outside, breathe in. The other creation of mine, which are these videos, like, this was something that caught me off guard. Like, essentially, I'm filming myself sitting here having a conversation with you, and there should be nothing stressful about this whatsoever. And there isn't. I enjoy this. I have this picture in my mind where I'm talking to you guys, and it's pretty awesome, because I get to have a relationship with you and have a conversation with you, and it's just cool. Here I am in the studio by myself, and yet I am connecting with you. How freaking awesome is that? It's not that different from creating a work of art that people go and see and they connect with. Like, I love that. So there shouldn't be any stress on there, except that you could add stress to anything by adding an obligation to it and saying like, well, it needs to be like this and it needs to be like that and it needs to be like this and it needs to be like that. And I think one of the biggest reasons that those obligations come in is out of just insecurity. Insecurity sets in, and all of a sudden everything that you're creating is just not good enough. Things are just not good enough. You start reaching for perfection, and perfection is non-existent, and you feel like a failure all the time. And there is no easier way to burn out than feeling like a failure all the time. The ability to step back, and it was something that I did at that time when I was burning out with my art career, was I sat back and there were 4 questions that I asked myself once I was able to like kind of relax. And one of them was, do I feel that I owe anybody anything? And because there are certain motivations that are not authentic to you because you think that you owe somebody something or you owe a group of people something. And so you find yourself doing things and compromising who you are because you feel that you owe somebody. And then the other one was, do I feel that people owe me? And that's where the resentment sets in when you're creating something because you are busting your butt to do something and you feel that people owe you. And so they're not doing this. So like, it's almost like you compromise yourself as well because you think that people owe you. The other question is, do they need me? Do they need me? Because also, there are a lot of compromises that you make when you feel that people need you. Like the world will stop, their lives will stop turning if you are not around. And then, do I need these people? And that's where a lot of like self-validation comes in because like without these people, maybe you feel that you're not validated or that you're not important or whatever. Those 4 questions allow me to look a little bit deeper than the surface to see if there are any hidden motivations behind what I'm doing. There is nothing that you need to do right now. No one needs you. You don't need anyone to approve of you. You don't owe anybody anything, and they don't owe you. And basically what that does is it kind of clears things up for me. Like it makes me realize what my motives are behind it. Because if I'm expecting people to act a certain way simply because I do something, that means that I have expectations going into it. And if my expectations are wrapped around the obligation of having to do something, that's when things get a little bit warped. They do. They really get a little bit warped because then your motivation behind doing it, although you're saying this is why I'm doing it because I want to, actually behind it there's a different motivation. Your motivation has to do more with what the results are going to be or what your actions are going to get you. And I think that's what matters. So it's just taking a moment to breathe in, stop, reevaluate, take care of you, and decide like, I need to stop. I need to stop right now and really take a moment. And whether or not it's take a walk, take a couple days off, do whatever it is that you need to do to just be able to like give yourself the right perspective where you can stand there and look at the situation and pull yourself out of whatever funk it is that you're in. And do that often, evaluate often, because you gotta, man. It's interesting what the answers are. And it's an ever-changing, ever-evolving thing. So it's not like you're just going to ask yourself these questions and all of a sudden, the universe opens up and you're like, oh, it doesn't work that way. But it allows you to take a look at your deep motivations and take a look and see if you really want to go that route. Because, really what it comes down to when you're doing anything, you should be doing it because that's what you want to do, because that's who you are. And your reason for doing it could be anything. It doesn't have to be like super deep or anything. You might just like to draw boats. You might like to just, do dog portraits, whatever it is that you like doing. If that's what you like doing, and understanding that like that changes and evolves, you change, you grow, you do different things. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think checking in with yourself often is important. I think that's important. Making sure that you're happy. in what it is that you're doing. Are you excited about the piece that you're creating, and understanding that maybe sometimes while you're creating it, it's going to suck. You're going to be like pushing boundaries and doing things and, you know, like filming videos. Sometimes it sucks. Sitting down and editing videos, sometimes it sucks. But there is something about that suckage that is still really, really good, because you don't feel beholden. You don't feel responsible. You don't feel like you're letting anyone down. I think ultimately that's what led to the burnout, was the fact that no matter how much work I did, no matter how much I did, it just was never enough. And it doesn't mean that it wasn't enough for anyone else. It just means that whatever standard I set in place in my own brain, it was just never enough. So every day I was ending the day feeling like I failed that day. And then I was just failing and failing and failing and failing and failing and failing in my own brain. And eventually it felt like nothing I did was good enough. And really, that just does not propel you to any place that is good. How would I keep myself from going into burnout? Making sure that I take that time for myself, making sure that I take that time for self-evaluation, making sure that I'm not doing things simply because I'm expecting a result from it, making sure that I'm doing things not because I think that that's what people expect from me, making sure that I'm doing things because that's who I am and that's what I want to do, and that's what I want to create, and just keeping an eye on that. And I think that that's a good way to take a look at whether or not you are heading very quickly for burnout. I mean, you get the warning signs. There are always the warning signs of like, here comes burnout. So I think it's just a matter of checking in with yourself often and making sure that you take care of yourself and not ignore what it is that you're feeling. That's about it. I don't know if that's going to be helpful or not, but like that's where it was. I burned out because I was trying to do too much, because I thought that that's what was expected of me and that's what people wanted and that's what I needed to do in order for things not to fall apart, which is never a good place to be. And instead, I'm in a place where like you reevaluate what it is that you're doing and why it is that you're doing, and basically just, always give yourself that food for thought. So, food for thought for you guys. Just FYI, I am okay. I am not burned out. I am doing fine. I might seem like a crazy person in this video, but that's because I am a crazy person anyway. I mean, if you watched any of my videos, you know that I'm just, yeah. And I'm curious to know about you guys and how you handle or how you keep yourself from getting to burnout, or if you've gotten burned out and what you've done to pull yourself back from that place. Just go ahead and leave that in the comment section below and discuss it amongst yourself. I'd love to read those. And thank you so much for watching, you guys. You guys are absolutely freaking amazing. I totally adore you. And if you like this and you want to watch more like this, just click right over here to subscribe. And that's it. Adios.